For years, Filipinos have carried a quiet burden, not because of who they are, but because of something they didn't choose, the passport they were born with. That little maroon booklet, it comes with hope, but also with hurdles. Long visa forms that ask too many questions, endless embassy interviews that feel more like interrogations, proof of income, proof of family, proof that you're not just trying to run away from home. It's exhausting, and sometimes it feels unfair, because what you're really asking for isn't luxury or privilege, it's just the right to explore, to dream a little bigger, to see the world without feeling like a criminal for wanting to go. But now, in 2025, the world is shifting. While some countries are building higher walls, others are quietly opening their doors. And if you know where to look, you'll find something rare. Countries that are saying yes to Filipinos. No visa, no paperwork circus, no hoops to jump through. Just an entry. Freedom. Welcome. This isn't about wealth, it's about awareness. Because when you have the right information, everything changes. So here it is. 10 countries secretly granting Filipinos free visa access in 2025. Places where you're not just tolerated, you're invited. And number 1 on this list? You won't believe it. Let's begin. Number 10, Colombia. For years, it carried a reputation wrapped in fear. Cartels, conflict, chaos. But Colombia, it's gone. And what's risen in its place is one of the most vibrant, artistic, and unexpectedly beautiful countries on earth. Now picture this. A Filipino traveler steps off the plane in Medellin. No visa in hand. No immigration officer grilling them. Just a stamp, a smile, a door quietly opened. Because in 2025, Filipinos don't need a visa to enter Colombia. Not for 30 days, not for 90 days, but for a full 180 days. Half a year to live, explore, wander, breathe. That's 6 months of Caribbean beaches, mountaintop towns, endless jungle trails. 6 months of salsa in the streets, street food that hums with flavor, and people who treat strangers like family. All of it without asking you to prove your worth. No show us your bank account. No why are you really coming here tone. No judgment, just an entry. Colombia knows what it feels like to be misunderstood, to have a history that haunts. But that's why it welcomes you, with empathy, where just stepping into another land has always been a battle. So here it is. Colombia is no longer a warning, it's a whisper of freedom. And in 2025, for Filipinos, it's one of the easiest, most powerful doors to walk through. No visa, no drama, just you and the journey ahead. Before we reveal these 10 hidden doors to the world, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell icon. Because here we don't just share places, we uncover freedom, one Filipino passport at a time. Let's begin. Number 9, Brazil. For years, Brazil was that wild, far-off dream. Too big, too bold, too far away. But in 2025, something changed. And quietly, without fanfare, Brazil extended a hand to Filipinos. No visa, no embassy hassle, no need to explain yourself, just step in. This isn't a trap or a trick, it's real. A simple gift of access, waiting in the heart of South America. Imagine this, you land in Rio. The air smells like salt and street food. The sun glows golden on the edge of Sugarloaf Mountain. And for the first time in a long time, you feel weightless. You don't need a bank statement to walk Copacabana. You don't need a sponsor to hike the Amazon. You don't need to prove you're worthy, to dance in Salvador, to taste feijoada, or to lose yourself in the rhythm of Lapa. Because here, you're not an outsider trying to prove something. You're a traveler, a dreamer, a welcome guest. Brazil didn't make a loud announcement. There were no headlines or trending hashtags, just one quiet update that changed everything. Filipinos can now enter visa-free, and while the world makes travel harder, Brazil just made it easier. More open, more possible. Because sometimes freedom doesn't come in the form of a luxury hotel or a first-class seat. Sometimes it looks like a country that finally says, "Come in. You belong here." Brazil, big, bold, unforgettable. And now, wide open for you. Number 8. Morocco. The wind carries stories in Morocco. Through the scent of spices in Marrakesh, it feels like stepping into another century, a place where time moves differently, slower, softer, more poetic. Morocco quietly dropped its visa requirement for Filipinos. No embassy queues, no exhausting paperwork. Just a green light to enter one of the most mystical countries on earth. You don't need to be rich or fluent in French or have a travel agent do the talking. All you need is your passport and your sense of wonder. Because here's what you'll find. Ancient Medinas that feel like mazes. Sunset calls to prayer echoing through blue-painted towns. Mountains that kiss the clouds, and dunes that stretch farther than the eye can see. It's not a tourist trap. It's not artificial. It's real, raw, radiant. And now Filipinos can walk its streets freely. No questions, no judgment, no delays. Morocco didn't shout this change from the rooftops. It simply opened the door and waited. If you've ever dreamed of sipping mint tea in a tiled courtyard, riding camels under a violet sky, or feeling like you've wandered into a living painting, now is the time, because Morocco isn't just beautiful, it's accessible, it's generous, and now it's yours. Number 7. Peru. Sometimes a destination calls to you, not with flashy headlines or trendy reels, but with silence, with stillness, with something ancient that lives in the air. Peru is one of those places, for the lucky, for the few who could fight through the mountain of paperwork and embassy red tape. But in 2025, that changed, because now for Filipino travelers, Peru says yes, visa-free, no consulate queues, no expensive consultants, no proof that you deserve the experience, just a passport, a ticket, and the courage to go. Even more remarkable, 183 days. That's how long Filipinos can stay without a visa. That's 6 full months of wonder. 6 months to breathe the high-altitude air in Cusco, to wander ancient Incan paths carved into the mountains, to sail Lake Titicaca at sunrise, to taste fresh ceviche on the Pacific coast and dance through street festivals that feel like magic. Most tourists get 7 days, maybe 10, but you get something different. Time, space, permission to not rush. Because this isn't just a trip, it's a journey that unfolds slowly, beautifully, like the fog lifting off the Andes. Peru isn't loud, it doesn't brag, but it sees you, it respects your story, and it offers itself freely. No conditions, no second guessing, no apologies. Just a country that says, come. And when the world feels complicated, a simple yes like that can mean everything. Number 6, Israel. A land whispered in scriptures, echoed in prayers, carved by time and conflict and hope. For many, Israel feels like a place you read about, not one you ever imagined setting foot in. But here's the truth in 2025. If you hold a Filipino passport, you can. No visa, no embassy hurdles, no paperwork maze. Just a boarding pass, a passport, and a heart ready to feel something bigger than itself. Because Israel isn't just a country, it's a story. Walk the streets of Jerusalem and you'll hear it. Float in the Dead Sea and let the silence wrap around you like something ancient. You don't need to be religious to feel it. You just need to be open. And the best part, Israel doesn't ask you to prove yourself. You don't need a bank statement or a return ticket just to show you're not staying forever. You are welcomed, plain and simple. This is rare in our world because so many countries want you to explain why you deserve to be there. But Israel, it quietly says, come as you are. Whether you're drawn to the holy sites, the street food, the Mediterranean coastline, or the heartbeat of a place that somehow holds centuries in its breath, Israel lets you experience it all. And in a time when travel is so often tied to privilege, Israel gives Filipinos something priceless: access, with dignity, with respect, with open arms. Because sometimes the most meaningful journeys are the ones that say yes before you even knock. Number 5, Bolivia. It's not a country you see in travel ads. It doesn't chase the spotlight. It doesn't need to. Because Bolivia is the kind of place that reveals itself only to those bold enough to look beyond the brochure. And in 2025, for Filipinos, it's one of the quietest open doors on earth. No visa, no waiting room interviews, no stack of documents to prove you're worthy of crossing a line on a map. Just your passport and a heart that's ready to see something real. Because Bolivia isn't polished, it isn't curated for tourists. It's raw, alive, and unapologetically itself. Here the ground looks like glass. Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat, reflects the sky so perfectly, you lose track of where heaven ends and earth begins. The cities? They don't play by the rules either. You'll hear the heartbeat of Bolivia in the markets, in the wind that howls through the Andes, in the silence of the desert at night. And for once, as a Filipino traveler, you don't have to explain why you're here. You don't have to prove your bank balance. You don't have to beg for permission to witness beauty. Bolivia says, come as you are. Stay up to 90 days, no visa, no questions asked. In a world that often makes Filipino travelers feel small, Bolivia makes space. It gives you room to breathe, to explore, to just be. And that's not just generous, that's revolutionary. Because when you're used to being told no, a quiet yes from a wild, wonderful place like Bolivia, it feels like a miracle. And in 2025, it's real. Number 4, Georgia. No, not the US state with peaches and southern charm. This is the Georgia most people forget exists. The one nestled where Europe meets Asia, where East and West blur into something beautifully unique. And in 2025, it's quietly become one of the most welcoming places on earth for Filipinos. You won't see it trending. You won't hear politicians brag about it. But if you're holding a Philippine passport, Georgia gives you something extraordinary. Not 30 days, not even 90. You get 1 full year, visa-free, 12 months, 365 days, no consulate visits, no proof of income folders, no exhausting embassy lines asking why you deserve a chance. Just you, your passport, and the open road ahead. But it's not just the visa that makes Georgia special. It's the way it feels when you're there, where grandmothers offer you dumplings without knowing your name, where wine flows not from luxury, but tradition, not for celebration, but because it's Tuesday, mountains that look like oil paintings, villages that move slower than time, and sunsets that make you forget your phone entirely. In Georgia, life isn't expensive. It's expensive. You can rent a home with a view of the snow-capped Caucasus for less than what you'd pay for a Manila condo without windows. And whether you stay a week or all 12 months, you won't feel like a visitor. You'll feel invited. That's the difference. Not in Georgia. In Georgia, your welcome isn't stamped in a visa. It's poured into your glass. It's baked into the bread. It's sung in the language, even when you don't speak a word of it. Georgia is your quiet miracle. No lines, no fees, no prove yourself requirements. Just a country that opens its arms. And in a world that's always asking Filipinos to wait, Georgia says, come in, stay a while, you belong. Number 3, Kenya. For many Filipinos, Africa has always felt like a distant dream, not because they didn't want to go, but because the world made it hard. Flights too long, visas are too complicated, too many unknowns. But in 2025, that's changed, because now Kenya is saying something bold to Filipino travelers. Come. No visa, no questions, no barriers. Just open skies, warm smiles, and a place that feels like nowhere else on earth. This is not just about going on a safari. It's about waking up to the roar of the wild, to lions at sunrise, zebras on the move, and elephants walking beside acacia trees that seem to touch the clouds. It's about breathing in air so pure it makes you forget traffic, forgetting the deadlines, the noise, the pressure, and remembering something deeper. In Kenya, nature is not a backdrop, it's the main character. And you're part of the story. From the golden plains of the Masai Mara to the white sand beaches of Mombasa. From the bustling energy of Nairobi to the silent awe of watching the Great Migration. Kenya doesn't just show you something new, it transforms you. And the best part? Filipinos don't need to jump through hoops to get there. No embassies, no visa fees, no long waits, just your passport and the courage to say yes. Because Kenya isn't waiting for you to prove anything. It's simply waiting for you. So if you've ever dreamed of seeing the world, not just the cities, but the soul of it, start here. In 2025, Kenya isn't just open, it's welcoming. And it's ready to give you something that's becoming harder to find in this world. A real adventure. No limits, no barriers, just wonder. Number 2, Rwanda. Some places carry the weight of history and still manage to rise higher than anyone thought possible. Rwanda is one of those places. Once known for tragedy, now remembered for transformation. This isn't the Rwanda you read about in old headlines. This is a country that rebuilt itself, quietly, powerfully, with intention. And now in 2025, it's one of Africa's cleanest, safest, and most forward-moving nations. A place where the past doesn't define the present, and the present is full of welcome. For Filipinos, Rwanda is more than just another stamp on your passport. It's a door, wide open. No visa required, no long application forms, no back and forth with embassies, no prove you'll return interviews. You land. You're in. Just like that. And what awaits you? A country that feels like a secret sanctuary. Streets in Kigali that are spotless and calm. There's something different about Rwanda. It's not loud, not flashy, not trying to be anything but itself. But it leaves a mark on you, the kind that doesn't fade when your trip ends. Because Rwanda isn't just safe, it's sacred in its own way. It teaches you that healing is possible, that beauty can bloom after pain. Even in a world full of borders, there are still places that say, come in, stay a while, you're welcome here. In 2025, when so many countries are raising walls, Rwanda is choosing a connection. So if you've ever wanted to experience Africa, to go beyond the brochures, the safari cliches, the headlines, this is your moment. Rwanda isn't just open, it's inviting you. And this time, you don't need to ask permission. Number 1, Russia's surprised. You're not alone. Because if someone told you 5 years ago that Russia would quietly open its doors to Filipino travelers, you'd probably laugh. And this might be one of the biggest yet. No headlines, no fanfare. Just a quiet agreement between two nations. And suddenly, Russia is visa-free for Filipinos. Yes, you read that right. No embassy lines, no interviews, no red tape. Just your passport, and a country that once felt unreachable, now within arm's reach. And what awaits you? The surreal beauty of Moscow, where onion domes rise like painted dreams above the snow. The literary soul of St. Petersburg, with its canals, its ballet, its endless twilight in summer. Golden forests, frozen lakes, train rides across a continent. Russia is massive, mysterious, misunderstood. But that's exactly what makes it magnetic. Because beyond politics, beyond history, lies a country full of depth, complexity, and quiet generosity. It's not your typical tourist stop. It's not marketed on every travel blog. But maybe that's the point. This isn't about taking the easy route. It's about taking the one no one else thought of, the one that leads to the unexpected. And in 2025, Russia is that route. It's not loud, it's not obvious. But for those bold enough to go, it offers something unforgettable, a journey into the unknown, and the reminder that sometimes the world's best-kept secrets say yes when you least expect it. In a world that feels like it's closing in, where borders tighten and fear builds fences, knowledge becomes your passport. Not forged papers, not elite connections, not millions in a bank, just awareness and the courage to act on it. Because the truth is, you don't need to beg the world to let you in. There are countries right now quietly saying, we see you, we welcome you. And for every locked gate, there's another door standing open, just waiting for someone like you to walk through it. So stop waiting for permission. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit someone else's rules. Start stepping into possibility. Because in 2025, the map is changing, the rules are shifting, and freedom doesn't always come in the form of a plane ticket. Sometimes it starts with a single decision to believe that you belong anywhere you choose to go, and one of those open doors might just have your name on it. If this video gives you hope, if even one country made your dreams feel possible, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Because this channel isn't just about travel, it's about empowerment, it's about access, and it's about giving every Filipino the tools to walk through doors they were told were closed. Join us, because your journey, it is just beginning.